Keith All here, and I'm coming at you with another tutorial. Today's tutorial is going to be on how we can create this button press down effect using CSS and HTML. So here on the left hand side I got my browser, and right now I have like a button with an asterisk that I get from fontawesome.com. And when I hover over it, you could see it looks like I'm depressing or pressing down on a button. So if I come off of it, go back on, it looks like I'm pressing down on that button. So let's see how I created this effect. So over here on the right, I have my index HTML file. And over here in this section, in the heading tag, I have a couple link tags. And one's pointing to a Font Awesome CSS file, which I downloaded from fontawesome.com. And the next one is a style.css file that I created, and we're going to look at in just a second to see how we're doing this. So basically, the first link for the Font Awesome file is just basically pointing again to a file on my PC, and the only thing that I'm using that for is to pull this icon. It's an asterisk. So if we come down here to the body tag, and within there I have a couple of div tags. So as you can see, in this class, in the I tag, I have a class called FAS, again, which is pointing to this file up here. And I'm also got another class called FA-asterisk. And if you look in this file, all it's doing is looking for this class and pulling this icon. So this third class that's within here, FA-3X, basically all that does, if you're not familiar with Font Awesome, they have a class, and that class styles your icon in this case. And basically what it's doing is taking the original size of the icon and multiplying it by 3x. So if I go ahead and put down 2x, let's save it, let's refresh here, you'll see the asterisk decreases in size, and that's what it did. So it's a simple file here. Now let's go to the styles sheet. Let's scroll up to the top. And basically what I'm doing here is I'm taking the body tag and I'm styling it here, and basically justify dash content and aligns items. One's is going to center your item within the div tag horizontally, the other one will do it vertically. And the minimum dash height property is basically setting it to 100 viewport heights, and it's sizing up this area here from your margins that are within the browser. In the background property, I'm just setting it to this light blue color. Okay, now the container div, let's go back here. So we're first now to styling the first div, which is the first container. Let's go back here. And basically just setting the width of that div to be 1100 pixels wide, and justifying the content setting to space around. So if anything wraps around or if anything extends beyond the 1100 pixels, it's just going to add some space to that div. That's all that's doing. Now I'm styling the other div, which is within the container div. Now I'm styling the card div right here. Let's go back here. So that card div, I'm setting the width to 320 pixels, which is what you see here. And the margin on the sides are going to be 20 pixels. The padding is going to be 40 pixels and 30 pixels. The background color is going to be a different color, which is basically what you see here, this white, off-white. And the border radius of this div is what this doing is I'm setting the border radius of 40 pixels. So I'm setting the round corners here. So let's bring this down to 10 so you can see what it's actually doing. Let's refresh it. As you can see, it made it more square. So that's what the border dash radius property does. The text align center means it's going to take the, in this case, it's going to take this asterisk, okay, and it's going to center it within these boundaries here of this div. Scroll down here. Now I'm giving it a box shadow. If you can see here, there's like a shadow up here on the top, left hand side, and then there's another shadow on the bottom and right hand side. So the box shadow property, you could set multiple shadows. So this is what this is doing. The first one is going to be set, the values for the box shadow property are, the first parameter is going to be the H offset, which is the horizontal offset. The next one's going to be the vertical offset. So basically, it's going to add a shadow to, in this case, this div. And the first one, since it's a negative value, okay, it says if it's a negative value, it's going to give it a left side shadow. So you can see on the left side of this div, there's like a shadow and it's blurry. And the -6 pixels here for the second reverse to the vertical offset. And since it's a negative value, it's going to set the shadow above your div, which is what you see here. And now this 20 pixels here, the third parameter, is going to be the blurring effect of it. And that's what that is. So that's why it's slightly blurred. And then the fourth parameter is your color that we're setting. So in this case, we're setting the color to actual white. That's what these three numbers here are for. And the fourth parameter within the RGBA function is going to be whether or not that the color is going to be either transparent or opaque. In this case, it's 1. If you want it to be more transparent, you go down to 0 or anywhere in between. So that's why you could see this white shadow with a blurring effect. Okay, the second section of the box shadow property, I'm creating another shadow. And this shadow is referring to this black area here on the bottom and right. So again, the first parameter is going to be the horizontal, and since it's a positive value, it's going to be the right hand side. The second is the vertical. It's going to, and since it's positive, it's going to be the shadow below your div. And again, the RGBA color I'm setting is going to be black, and the last parameter of 1, it just makes sure it's going to be opaque, that you could see it. So the bottom portion here now is going to be the hover. So I'm styling the card, but I'm using a hover studio event, and the same thing. The only difference now when I do a hover now, the shadows are going to be on the inside. And that's what this inset means. It's going to be the inside shadow. So it's going to create a little slightly shadow here and a shadow on the bottom here. Okay, so that's what the inset does. Other than that, these parameters work the same as what you see up here. So hopefully this gave you an idea on how you could create a button on your website that when someone hovers over it, it looks like they're pressing down on that button. If you haven't done so already, you can subscribe to my channel and click on that bell notification so you always get updated when a new video is ready. And also, please like, share, and comment. If you have any questions, just comment down below, and I'll be glad to answer them for you. Thanks again for stopping by and support my channel. You have a great day, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.